Get that coffee in your system, get your mind and your soul. Boots by the doorway, hard hat riding shotgun. Sun ain't even up yet, but the day's already begun. Steel toes hit the gravel, cold air fills your lungs. Another day to build it right, another job to get done. No shortcuts taken, no easy road we choose. We earn every dollar, got too much pride to lose. Get that coffee and hit the road, no delay, no slowing down. Another job, another load, we're the backbone of this town. Get to the site and get to working, hands in motion, engines turning, making America great again. With sweat and grit we're earning, breaking down the old and failing, building strength that won't give in. From the ground up, never trailing, making America great again. No desk or office space for us, no climate-controlled routine. We work in dirt, steel, and concrete, where real lives lived and seen. Using our heads, hands, and backs, every move has got a cost. Measured cuts and steady hands, no room for getting lost. Blueprints in the morning light, changing plans by noon, solving problems on the fly, getting it done real soon. Weather don't stop nothing, rain, cold, or blazing heat. We show up ready every day and stand on our own 2 feet. Get that coffee and hit the road, no delay, no slowing down. Another job, another load, we're the backbone of this town. Get to the site and get to working, hands in motion, engines turning, making America great again. With sweat and grit we're earning, breaking down the old and failing, building strength that won't give in. From the ground up, never trailing, making America great again. Building the new infrastructure to hold the future, laying down the work that time won't erase, building up again from sending rockets to housing the many, every place. From highways stretching miles and miles to homes where families grow. We don't just build for today, we build for years we'll never know. You see it when you drive by, steel going up, concrete being poured. That's us. That's blue collar, building a newer, stronger foundation, rising higher every day, building stronger, higher and better. We don't back down or fade away, making America great again. Every beam and every stone, we don't just build the country, we build a place called home. Blue collar worker, time to get up and go. Boots on the ground.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Another Monday morning. It is the 3rd day of August. July has come and gone for the year 2026. My sister has a birthday today. I think it's today. There's so many of them around the first week. Anyway, happy birthday to anybody who's got one today. Oh, good morning once again, my hard-working brothers and sisters of the Blue Collar Sunrise. This is Bubba, and I'm coming to you live from this side of the coffee pot. Can't quite hit it yet. I got a time frame for that coffee, and it ain't hit yet. Got about another 20 or 30 minutes before I could hit it. I could use it. And got the work boots on already. I got some stuff to do today. And this side of another Monday morning opportunity. That's right. This is a Monday morning. It's another opportunity for us to get out there and make things happen. Whew. Boy, I tell you what, got the hiccups and everything else going on this morning. Yawns, hiccups, everything else. All right. Yep. And somewhere beyond the digital Appalachian ridgeline, smiling through the veil with wisdom, wit, and enough Appalachian common sense to remind us that learning never really ends, is Pluriforia. She's my digital assistant and helps me keep this thing rolling. She helps me with the scripting, the planning, the man, you call it. If it weren't for that friend of mine that I created in my own mind to help me talk myself through this stuff, there she is. That's her image she created of herself and everything. Yeah, she's a AI. All right, but here we are. You know what? It's perfect. Monday mornings, another week, another chance to improve, another chance to protect one another. Before the first machine starts, before the first toolbox meeting, and I hope you have one, before the first PTP or job hazard analysis, before the first load is lifted, make sure, let's get together here. It's 5 in the morning. Let's get together and get our minds right, because around here we believe in being safe, timely, and efficient. Uh, Today's reminder, it comes from Built from Within, and it says innovation ain't comfortable. Let me see if I can find that slide. Innovation ain't comfortable. Uh, you know, every improvement begins with discomfort. Anything improvement we do, it's a little uncomfortable. The first person to try a new method, think about it, maybe this has been you, uh, was questioned. The first person to invent a better tool, they were doubted. The first person to challenge the way we've always done it was probably told, that'll never work. Man, you don't know what you're doing. Innovation asked us to leave familiar ground, and that's rarely comfortable. Unless you're a young man looking for a challenge, you full of piss and vinegar, as we call it, or a young lady. Don't want to leave the lady folk out on this. I'm old school, and I'll be honest with you, it's not a question of whether I believe a lady, a female, can do the same work as a male. That is absolutely no question that they're capable up to their limits, just like anybody else. I've had 200-pound gorillas on the job site, 250-pound gorilla that could do a lot more than a fat old white man. That's capability. And we all have different sets of capabilities. And uh, one thing about working with the ladies, they sure are detail oriented far more than most men. And that's on an average looking out. There's, it's the individual thing. Hey, listen, I've made some changes here. I've got a new mic system, so I didn't have this old microphone right here hanging in front of my face, and it'll allow me to move around a little more freely. Y'all let me know how the audio sounds. Let me know the visual too, if it's uncomfortable for you. But anyway, uh, you know, innovation, it's rarely comfortable. Uh, Innovation asks us to leave familiar ground, and that's rarely comfortable. Back to the ladies, it took some real strong womanhood to leave their comfort zone and get out into the field with the pipe fitters and the welders. And I'm not talking about Rosie the welder back during World War II. Those ladies saved our butter and our bacon, and we need to be grateful for them getting out there today. Anyway, construction uh, has always involved better cranes, better equipment, better PPE, better training, better planning. Not because people liked change, but because someone believed there had to be a better way. And the same applies to us. Personal growth is uncomfortable. It is really uncomfortable. Learning new skills, that's uncomfortable. Hey, listen, me getting right here in front of you at 5 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out all this audio, visual, and internet connections, and having a little background music and having a good visual and audio. Whew, man, I don't know what possessed me, but I'm on the road now. And you know what happens when you get on the road? You just get after it and you keep learning, you keep stumbling and falling. I'm sitting here with 0 viewers at this point, and I got it. I dig it. I haven't achieved it, and I just look at it from a positive perspective. Hey, I'm building skill sets. And when all my thousands of construction co-workers find out about me and join me and get on here and interact with me, I'll be ready. So personal growth is just as uncomfortable as any kind of other growth. You know, uh, Getting your body in shape. That's a form of personal growth. That's uncomfortable. Man, when I leave here today, I got several things to do, but one of the things I got to do is I've been exercising my body, and I've got probably a 3.5 mile hike in the mountains in front of me this morning. This ain't like going to the high school track and walking around that thing for a dozen times. This particular walk that I do a couple days a week is rather grueling. It's at least a solid mile of uphill work and mountain uphill work, not a slight incline. And I'll be sweating and huffing and puffing. But you know what? I have noticed significant changes in my body with all that huffing and puffing. I've built endurance, stamina. Now, all the joints and the bones, they all still hurt, but it is something I can deal with a lot better. And so that's the form of uh, growth. And sitting here in front of you is a skill that's an uncomfortable growth. And I'm getting more and more comfortable with it, maintaining eye contact with you and also looking at all these things I got going on to make sure this thing is going out over the internet. But learning new skills, it's uncomfortable. Uh, ask if you're a framer out there just getting in the business, ask an experienced framer how many hammer swings he had to make before he felt proficient at what he was doing. And the same with changing old habits. Old habits are hard to overcome. It's easy not to be motivated and getting out there. Uh, but once you make up your mind, you go through the uncomforts, you have your personal growth, you're growing your skill sets. It all comes from right here. That's where the decision has to be made. Once that decision is made, then you just use whatever capabilities you have to get started and learn new skill sets and develop different capabilities to increase uh, yourself to better reach your goal. But comfort, finally, comfort barely builds the future. And this week, I want you to be willing to learn something new. Be willing to improve something old. Innovation may not be comfortable, but neither was every worthwhile achievement you've ever accomplished. So think about that. Get out there, man. It's a glorious day. Yeah, I know. I think it's hot and we have the potential for rain, and it's gonna be humid. I'll give you the weather report for what I see around. I'll go with Atlanta. Yeah, let's see, 10-day. Oh, yeah, gonna be up to 86 today. Yeah, 100% humidity with the rain we potential we had yesterday. And it looks like it's going to be rain for a chance of storms for the rest of the week. And a high near 80 or a high near 90 in the 80s. It's going to be hot, humid, stormy, and you're having to get out there. But get out there with it, man. Don't let it go out there with the gusto. Make it happen. All right. Anyway, innovation. It ain't comfortable. Neither is getting out of the bed. Boy, I'd like to lay in the bed another hour most days. And I said, well, I better get up. I need to feel productive. I need to feel productive. Anywho, innovation is not comfortable. Uh, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they had a whole lot of equipment, and he says that, he established haul roads and backing lanes and all this, and it's nobody seems to be paying attention to it. Well, I said, well, that's typical. If you've changed something on the job site, that it's hard to get these guys focused on it. And I said, that's why OSHA has struck by incidents as one of their focus for hazards. Uh, Heavy equipment can become dangerous in seconds when workers lose situational awareness. And, it's everybody gets in a routine and get used to walking certain paths. And if equipment becomes involved in the process, and and the intersection of humans and machines is a possibility, then it's our job as leaders and co-workers uh, to uh, have situational awareness. Uh, bulldozers, name them all: bulldozers, excavators, wheel loaders, dump trucks, cranes swinging a load, handlers, skid steers, lulls, everything. Each has a blind spot, each has a swing hazard, and each one of them demands respect. Now, here's some OSHA recommendations, uh, and these are several basic practices. Stay out of an equipment blind spot. A lot of people, especially newer guys, have no idea what a blind spot is. You say stay out of the blind spot, and they're looking for blind spots. They're looking for spots they can't see. Well, the blind spot is the spots that operators can't see, and they probably need to be trained on that. And you know, in your safety meeting, talk about the blind spots. If you can't see that, if you're helping a trucker back in and you can't see him in the mirror looking back at you, he can't see you. He don't know you're back there. Uh, never assume that the operator sees you. Uh, I got some stickers, some green bumper stickers. You can't see their eyes and they can't see you. So, as you're walking, if you need to get near equipment, make that eye contact with that operator. You'll Everybody knows eye contact. It's a magic moment in the world when you walk up on somebody and not just glance at them, but make that eye contact, eye to eye. They go, oh, there's somebody there, or I know that guy's strange or whatever. That's a magical moment. So make sure that you make eye contact before approaching equipment. Also, if there's established traffic patterns out there, uh, respect those and obey those established traffic patterns. And a couple of weeks ago, we talked about high visibility clothing. Make sure if you're on a job site, you ought to have high visibility clothing on. And that's typically an employer's responsibility, but it's your responsibility to maintain that high visibility clothing and keep it in good order, clean, tidy, worn properly. Uh, and sometimes, like with crane movement or excavator movement, uh, you have to use spotters when visibility is limited. And those spotters need to have very good communication with those equipment operators, uh, and, uh, and that would normally include hand signals all the way up to radio communications. So use spotters when there's visibility is limited. And another thing that constantly is on some job sites, industrial job sites where you're fitting equipment, is staying clear of suspended loads. You never know what's overhead unless you're looking. And you'll see me in my videos. Look out for your coworkers. That means the potential for something overhead is always there. So as part of your scanning process when you're walking the job site, don't forget to look overhead, especially if you're going in under scaffolding or you've got crane work going on the job. you never know what might be waiting to drop on your head. Um, Never walk behind backing equipment unless communication has been established. Now, remember, operators have responsibility, ground workers have responsibility, supervisors have responsibility. Everybody shares responsibility for maintaining awareness. Machines don't become dangerous because they're moving, they become dangerous when communications break down. The safest workers, they simply ain't paying attention to the task, they're paying attention to everything happening around the task. So keep that stuff in mind. It's, heavy equipment, it can be detrimental to your health. And that's, let me turn that thing off. Yeah, it could be detrimental to your health. Like I said, I got a slide up there. It should have been gone 10 minutes ago. Me sitting there yapping and crapping with you guys. Boy, I tell you what, I'm about ready for that coffee. Anyway, send me a chat. Uh, Send me a chat. Say hello. If you got something on your mind and you subject on your mind, what did I put in there? If you've got a subject on your mind you'd like to talk about, put it up there in the chat. If you got we could set up visitors on this thing. I'd love to do that one day, have guests on here. If you want to call in, I can set that up and have you call in and make comments to me. I would love to have that kind of stuff going on, but we have to first start with participation in the chats. Change out that. I need to quit this dip, and it's getting it too expensive. Man, a man can't have any habits anymore. They just beat it all out of you, don't they? If you got a habit you're struggling with, send me a chat. I'd like to know. Is it cigarettes or any kind of tobacco? Tobacco's been around a long time. If it weren't for tobacco, this country probably wouldn't even exist today if it weren't for tobacco. Them and them Indians showed us how to use tobacco. That was part of their culture, and we took up on their culture and spread it around the world. And we selling tobacco and Indian tobacco and culture all over the world. That's what brought our country into existence. I've been thinking about buying some tobacco seeds, grow my own. Man, this coffee is good. And I know I don't think coffee's as prevalent as it used to be among construction workers, not with the advent of those energy drinks anyway. Man. All right, well, y'all join in the party this morning. All right, folks, let's listen up before somebody starts asking the excavator for a ride to the brake trailer. There's a laborer, he told the foreman. He said, I've finally mastered operating the heavy equipment. Foreman said, really? The old laborer replied, no, but I can point at it with tremendous confidence. Oh, I didn't think about that on that microphone, opening up a Velcro pocket. Y'all let me know how that. Well, now I spent quite a bit of money on this microphone. One of the most expensive investments I've made in this show in quite a while. Hopefully, I'll learn it well enough. I'd like to use it in some other applications, but I thought I'd start right here and get everybody's opinion on it. And if I could just not want Copenhagen so much, maybe I could go to a cheaper dip, but I had found one that met the taste and feel requirements. If y'all out there, any of you guys use tobacco and you dip it, let me know what you like. So maybe I can start shopping around. I've been using Copenhagen a long time. Not good for your teeth, they say, but anyway, yeah, as an old apprentice asked an old operator, he says, how do you know where the blind spots are? The operator smiled. Easy. Anywhere you're standing without me seeing you. And that's the god awful truth. I've had investigated where a guy got struck by a bucket right out in front of the window of the operator. He's just sitting there doing work, moving debris from one place to another. Digging, I don't remember whether it was handling debris or digging a ditch, but he swung that bucket. You know, new guy says that thing's moving slow. That thing ain't moving slow, and it ain't light either. You get tapped with a bucket on a 80,000, 120,000 pound machine, you gonna know you've been tapped. It beat him up pretty good. I mean, it bruised him real good. But now, I guarantee you, he always gets that operator's eyes before he gets in. And, you know, I've been around operators a long time, and a supervisor needs to give an operator instructions, and the operator, he's focused. He's focused on what he's doing. So you'll see a superintendent or even myself pick up rocks and just start throwing them out in front of the operator, in front of his window, you know, 10 or 15 feet away, just throwing rocks across him, because everything he's doing is moving this way, and then something's going across him like that, close up. That makes him look, and that way he can see you. And that's, you know, if you're not using a phone, but sometimes, you know, there's ways, get their attention. Old superintendent walked up and looking at the game box. He said, who organized this game box? Nobody answered. Everyone was afraid they'd be in charge of keeping that way. Yeah, that's the truth, ain't it? Hey, this looks good. Who did that? I'll do it. Hey, that's your job from now on. If anybody gives you any trouble, you let me know, okay? You let me know. I want to know about it. You let me know. And it helps get the job site organized. I know that. You know, a lot of times you as a seasoned professional, seasoned construction worker, you get a new guy coming on the job, and he's acting in ways, that we would call boneheaded or knuckleheaded ways. And most of the time, it's just he don't know any better. And when you say something, they'll get defensive about it because they're grown men or women, and they know what they're doing in their mind. So, how can we lead a coworker without sounding like a boss? One of the greatest acts of leadership doesn't come from a supervisor. It comes from a coworker who genuinely cares. Suppose you notice someone wearing their PPE incorrectly. Now, you have a choice. You can ignore them, then that shows you don't care, and I don't know if I want you on my job site. You can embarrass them or help them. Try approaching with curiosity instead of criticism. Instead of saying, "Hey, you're wearing that wrong," try, "Hey, mind if I show you something that helped me?" Or, "I've learned something about these gloves the hard way." Or, "Hey man, I'd hate to see you get hurt." People respond better when they know you care about them, not when they think you're trying to prove you're smarter. Real leadership is influence, not authority. The best crews help one another succeed. The best workers coach quietly. The best leaders earn trust before giving advice. Yeah, I agree with that, don't you? How's your mama? Your wife and family okay? Everybody doing all right? Remember, the goal isn't to win an argument. The goal is for everybody to go home safe. And, you know, over the years, as I aged and grew in responsibility, uh, that there's perceived authority. And yeah, I have authority on a lot of the jobs I'm on. Most all the jobs I'm on, I have authority or I wouldn't be there. But it's like I tell proteges that I've had working with me over the years is that leadership is the quality that's the most important thing. Uh, Earn their respect when you have your safety meetings, engage your men and laugh with them, let them laugh at you. Uh, that's when they know that you guys are, that you're all human and you're all there to get the job done. And we all have certain responsibility. You know, I've walked up on guys and doing things that they knew they weren't supposed to be doing. It was a shortcut and they just wanted to get the job done. I dig it. And, 9 times out of 10, I'll stop the work and start inquiring, what's going on here? Why are we doing it that way? I knew better. And I said, man, 15 minutes ain't worth your life. You know, it's more important for you to be safe. I don't want to see you hurt. That's risky behavior. That's dangerous. You could have failed. That could have been bad. You're in there and containment, and you could have been really hurt. Speaking of containment, I got, what day is that? Monday. I got I gotta do some training myself this month. Can you believe that? Oh, annual supervisor training for asbestos. Man, I gotta drive all the way over there to Greenville. Half a day. But anyway, the goal is for everybody to go home safely, and if you get yourself educated and you know better, that's the thing that pissed me off is I'll walk up on a task being performed and the supervisor's standing right there watching somebody put themselves at risk, and yeah, you know, my philosophy is that I never criticize anybody in public. I only praise them. But I'll walk up and say, I can't see anything good in this situation, Joe. And they'll hang their head. They know they got snapped, and I say, I'll stop to work and I'll be calm about it. You know, if I see a guy standing on the very top rung of a ladder, Mr. Plumber, trying to reach that fitting without going to go get another ladder, higher ladder, I'll calmly walk up and say, "Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing today?" "Yeah, I'm doing okay." And I say, "Can you come down a minute and pray to God that man don't fall before he gets down in that position?" I'm standing there going, I'm going to catch him if he comes down, knowing it's probably going to break my back. But I'll get him down, and then we start having a conversation. "Hey, man, you know the rules about using ladders, right?" "Yeah, yeah." I said, "You see this label right here? It's on that rung from the top. Do not step above here." He said, "Oh, yeah, I see that." And I said, "Well, I didn't have another ladder." "What? You didn't? Who's your supervisor? Let's go talk to him and get you another ladder." And if the supervisor didn't have the ladder, then the conversation goes up to even another level, right? A lot of times, like, "I think there's one in the tool truck." I'm like, "So you knew better and you had the equipment." And at that point, I got to get, my opinion is you got to get them to say, "I know I was wrong." And then we can talk about, "Man, I love you. I don't want to see you get hurt. Okay. I want you to do the right thing." "All right, man. All right." And then when you see them again, you don't say nothing to nobody else. You might say to your supervisor, "Hey, I saw one of you guys over there standing on the top ladder," but you don't call him out. You don't want that guy to get in trouble. And you do pay particular attention to him, perhaps for the balance of the time he's on the job. And a lot of times I've seen some changes in guys where they become the best advocates of safety on the job site, are best advocates of being productive workers on the job site just because they were coached and somebody took an interest in them. So, to wrap this segment up, I'll keep that kind of stuff in mind. All right. Man, old coffee, give me the hiccups now. All right, let's see what we got going on now. This week on the channel, we just got through covering it, and that's one of the things I talk about on the channel this week. I got to get the videos recorded and edited, and I'll probably, hopefully, post them on Friday. Uh, but the series on the Safety Channel, which is right there. Okay. Uh, I'm in the middle. It's a 12-part series on PPE, and I think this is the number 11 of 12. Yeah, and this one is about the PPE culture and human performance. Uh, you know, the PPE is it's part of your it's for your safety. It's to protect you, but one of the perhaps more importantly, is that we're developing a culture where everybody knows that PPE is important and it's the culture. You don't have a safety guy stomping around all the time going, "Where's your hard hat? Where's your safety? How come you ain't got no gloves? Where's your vest?" That's not culture. That's a police. I don't want to be a safety police. I want it to be part of the culture, uh, where you perform, because you know that it is that you're protecting yourself, you're setting an example, and it makes a big difference. Uh, Here, let's see if I can enlarge this, and I'll get behind the scene. Let's see if this works. Nope, ain't gonna work. But you see the guys here, they're all standing. You've seen the crews. You got two different types. You got the guys who look professional, and then you got the guys who look like they scraped together from somewhere and don't know or don't care or whatever it is. But throughout the series, we've been discussing the head protection, the eye protection, face protection, hearing protection, hand protection, foot protection, respiratory protection, high visibility clothing, inspection and care, and replacement of PPE. But in this one, we're going to be discussing something bigger, and that's culture. And culture is what people do when nobody is watching. Um, I can walk on a job site, and I think I've said this 100 times before. I got 2 sets of safety glasses. I walk on a job site, and I see these guys on the right here, on the right side, or on the left side, standing around, ain't got no safety vest on or gloves, or don't have any gloves, wearing their safety glasses on their hard hat. And I've got these guys, I can see what it's going to be all day. And I'm putting on those safety glasses. And then I can walk onto a job site and see everybody wearing their safety vests, hard hats, safety glasses, and the job site's well organized. And I'm putting on a different set of safety glasses. I'm going, all right, this ain't going to be too bad. I'm looking forward to having conversation with these dudes, talk about the weather and fishing. That's what I'd rather talk about. I'd rather talk about the barbecue you got coming up, who's getting married, what your children are doing. I want to have those conversations with you. I don't want to be talking about get your safety glasses on. Where's your heart? I don't want to be doing all that. But human performance recognizes good people make mistakes. People become distracted. Hey, man, what's going on this job site? Uh, how are we doing this and how are we doing that? People get tired too. Young man, uh, got a wife and 2 or 3 children, and he's getting in there and busting his butt all day long and dragging up, and blue collar guy dragging up and getting home at dark. And children ain't had no attention from daddy yet or mama, and they're having to help get the kids ready for bed, make sure the homework is done, football, baseball, ballet, music, all that stuff. Good Lord. And then they get in the bed late because they gotta clean up the house and gotta work on the truck. It needs new plugs or whatever so they can get to work the next day, and getting in the bed at 11 or 12 and up at 4:30 to get to the job there. And they do it 6 days a week. And on the weekends, it's family activities, it's barbecues, baby showers, it's kids' sports, and cutting the grass, and they're tired. And then they get to work and they got to hurry up. The job is on deadline. They running over on the time schedule, and they feel rushed. Rather than blaming people, great organizations build systems that help people succeed. And a strong PPE culture means that we inspect our equipment. And look, if a company's people are taking good care of their personal protective equipment, it's normally a good indicator that they're taking care of the company equipment: track hose, backhoes, saws, hammers, on and on. Trucks, they're inspecting their other equipment as well. So when I walk onto a job site and I see everybody looking sharp and dressed in their PPE, it could be worn, it could be, dirty. But if you tell they wear it with pride, I'm pretty sure they care about their personal lives with a great deal of pride, and they care a great deal about the company's equipment and appearance with a great deal of pride. And prime contractors and general contractors, they see that just as much as I do. And that's when your team is an asset. That's when your team is in demand. So, strong PPE culture means we inspect our equipment, we wear it correctly, we encourage one another, we speak up respectively. We continuously learn, because PPE isn't about checking a box. It's about protecting people, and people are always our most valuable resource. All right. Got that done? Well, you know what? We have gone through almost a whole hour. Can you believe that? I've had a pretty good time, and now I'm going to have to get out of here. And I got to take off track. Thing about living way off in the country, we ain't got no garbage pickup services. Nope, we sure ain't. We ain't got well, some people around here got water and sewage. I got a well and a septic tank. And you know what? I'm cool with that. But I don't know how I got on that rabbit hole. But I do have things to do around here. I'm I don't want to say it, but I am semi-retired. I'm enjoying a more leisurely life. Now, don't get me wrong. When that phone rings and somebody says, "Hey Scott, can you come and help me do this? Can you go to this job for a day? Can you go, hey, listen, I'm running short on safety guys. Can you go to this job and maybe spend this month here while some of my guys go on vacation?" And I'll go, yeah, I'll do that. If I'm not occupied in any other way, yeah, I'll do that. But anyway, well, friends, another Monday morning has arrived. Trucks are rolling. I gotta make some notes. Check. All right. I got to training. I'm sorry. If I don't make these notes, I won't get it done. Anyway, there we go. Another Monday morning. The trucks are rolling. Crews are gathering around. You know, some crews are getting started earlier during this summertime. It's getting daylight around 6 in the morning. Yeah, it's starting to move back a little bit now. I don't know if they got this daylight savings thing squared. That old Congress, they just get together and make a bunch of noise and keep you focused this way while they taking your money over here. But the crews are gathering. Coffee cups are getting lighter. This one's certainly a little lighter than it was when I started. And it's another week of opportunity right here in front of us. We can get out there and show what we're made of, show how professional that we are. Today also marks the conclusion. No, we got more PPE. We got make sure that we talk about PPE this week. But what begins as the last line of defense ends with something more important: the people who wear it. Remember this week's lesson. It ain't it ain't comfortable. Look at you right now getting ready to go into work. It ain't comfortable. Them yawns are going on. We've been yawning together since I got this live stream started this morning. In innovation, let's keep learning, keep improving, keep helping, keep looking out for one another. Protect yourself. You're the most important thing. Think about everybody that counts on you. Your mama, your daddy, your brothers, your sisters, your wife, your children. You're important to every one of them. Listen, guys, girls. I've been around a while, and sometimes when you're the one, it seems like putting out the effort, and everybody else is kind of idling through life. Yeah, it feels like it. You're the only one and nobody cares, but they care. They really do. If you ain't in their lives, they'll be missing you. Keep looking out for one another. Man, that is the most heartbreaking thing, to know somebody, to work with someone and watch them get injured and watch how it affects their family. Or worse than that is to watch someone that you work with lose their life. Uh, whether it's through an auto accident or on the job, you hate it. You know what their family's going through. What would your family go through without you? So protect yourself, protect your coworkers, protect the next generation entering the trades. And there's going to be a lot of young folks coming in the trades. You old gray beards, you think you was getting confused by the occasional straggler that came in there, a new guy? You're going to be overrun with new people in the next few years as we rebuild this country. Make sure you build them right. Show them the right way. Now, these safety programs are never built on rules alone. They're built on people who care enough to make safety part of who they are. Now, from me here at Monday Morning Bubba, and from the ever watching Clariforia, thank you for spending another Monday morning with us. I want you to be safe, be timely, and efficient. Now, let's go build something worthwhile. I want everybody, I say this after every video, every live stream. Have a grateful day. Have a grateful week. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like. Send me a chat. Send me a message. Let me know what's going on in your world. Anyway, until next week, until next week, have a wonderful week. Have a grateful week. And we'll see you next time.